Hi, this is Shohei, and today it's gonna be Muay Thai and Judo, one being from Thailand, Judo being from Japan. One is a striking art, the other is a grappling art. One art is heavily relying and depending on garments, the Judo gi, and the other only wears shorts and gloves on the hands. So it's going to be a very interesting comparison when it comes to the similar takedowns or how they approach the same takedown when it comes to the context of two sports, and Muay Thai just being a beast of a martial art. In my opinion, if I would choose a striking art, it would probably be Muay Thai. The way they condition themselves, the way they rely on all the limbs or parts of the limbs in order to strike, like the forearms, the hands, the knees, the shin, and the legs. It makes it a very functional striking art, very ferocious, and you need to be heavily conditioned because, as you know, the professional Thai fighters, they quit at a very young age due to the fact that it's incredibly taxing on the body. So you'd have to be very, like I said, conditioned and also willing to toughen up your body and also going through heavy drills. So without any further ado, the first takedown that we're going to be taking a look at is the Ko Uchigari. If you watch any Muay Thai highlight, you would see that Ko Uchigari is incredibly prevalent and incredibly frequent. They catch the kick and just they proceed to sweep with Ko Uchigari. It's very easy to do it in a Muay Thai context because once you catch the leg, the other leg is standing on the ball of the foot and making it very easy to reap it. But in Judo, it's a context of grappling. You have to move someone, and as the foot is moving, you have to catch it with the right timing, making it a very highly technical move. But nonetheless, they are both very high technical moves. For example, in Muay Thai, you have to be very quick and swift with your reaction in order to catch the foot before you attempt to sweep the other with Ko Uchigari. Fun fact, the Kodokan does not say the terms Ko Uchi Makikomi and Ko Uchigake, the one you see here. They all call it Ko Uchigari because just like Ko Uchigari, the Ken, the foot is clipped, and we all say Ko Uchigari. So in Kodokan, Makikomi, and Gake, they are not said. So just a fun fact on the side. This is Kyuzo Mifune doing Ko Uchigari here in front of you. The second one being Deashi Harai, or the foot sweep, the advancing foot sweep. And talked about this in my Judo and Karate video. The context is very similar in Muay Thai. You catch the leg, the other leg that's very weak on the ball of the foot. It's incredibly susceptible to being swept. But in Judo, one of the toughest or hardest moves you can pull off is the Deashi Harai, due to the fact that it takes incredible precision and timing to catch the foot as it is advancing or moving to the side. Sometimes you create the movement as you see here, but nonetheless it still requires a high level of technique and accuracy to hit the foot as it is advancing, either as it is being put down on the floor or as it is taking off and moving, and hence why it is one of the hardest techniques to pull off. Some of the masters of this technique is Fabio Basile, Amandine Bouchard, and many others. So it differs from context of martial arts. In Judo, it is heavily dependent on the movements, and in Muay Thai, it is heavily depending on catching the foot in order to sweep the other. So you can watch it in my Karate video and Khabib Nurmagomedov video. The next one is the Uki Otoshi. The Uki Otoshi being one of the rarest moves to pull off in Judo, but nonetheless, this is something that's very important and I wanted to discuss, and that is the clinch. The Muay Thai clinch is one of the most famous aspect of this martial art. So here you see Dash Deva doing it from the clinch, very similar to Muay Thai. He feints with a Kosoto and finishes off with a Uki Otoshi, very similar to Muay Thai. It is not like done in Nage no Kata. He found a way to make it work in competition, very similar to the way it's done with the Muay Thai clinch. This is the traditional one, here being done by David Dorsch. He feints by pushing someone to the edge of the mat, and as they react, he does it like the almost like the Nage no Kata, with the sleeve and the lapel instead of the clinch. And the final one is the Harai Tsurikomi Ashi, or the lifting, pulling, sweeping of the foot. This example here in front of you is one of, here you see the sweeping blow is forward, as you just saw here. The same with the Ashi Harai. In the grappling context, you have to catch it in a movement. You have to be very precise and drill it religiously, while in Muay Thai, the same aspect. You catch the foot, the other that's on the ball of the foot, you can sweep it with any direction you want. Kosoto, Osotogari, Kosotogari, or Kouchigari, and so on and so forth, as long as the leg is very weak, the other one being held and the other is on the ball of the foot. So that's very interesting in order to compare similar takedowns but in different aspects. So for example, I did recently a video on how to bring the judo leg grabs in a way that they require a lot of mastering, and also not to be in a way that you do not engage in kumikata and just shoot. And a lot of people say, no, just bring it back the way it is. But that's the thing. You have to do things differently in context of different sports. Otherwise, we would all be doing the same thing. It would be like MMA, but we're wearing like a gi or a bathrobe and holding a tennis racket with live rounds around our waist. If every martial art you want to do everything in every single context, every game has its own expression and every game has its own sequences in order to achieve a technique, so to speak. So shooting like wrestlers in a judo context is far different than shooting for a double in a wrestling context. So here you see that the same technique is being done with the expression of the art itself. So it is, like I said, different, and I wanted to bring back the leg grabs in a judo context with the judo expression of things. It's not that being afraid of wrestlers, or I'm trying to make this easier, but rather the expression or how to keep judo unique. This is not about UFC. This is not about being this art versus this art. This is about having a personal expression of the art. So that was the argument of the initial video. I'm still getting comments still this day saying these things, and they have to understand that shooting a double in wrestling is going to be different than shooting a double in judo. And here you see the Kouchigari. You are sweeping the foot, etc., from the inside, but it is different in the Muay Thai context and in the Muay Thai expression. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below, and please consider supporting me on Patreon. I have content that's exclusive for the patrons, and I would truly appreciate it. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.